You are now listening to the Building Her Dream podcast, where we have inspiring conversations with introverted women entrepreneurs who are building their dream lives and businesses on their own terms. Hosted by business operations strategist, author, and the founder of Building Her Dream, Shayla Burton. To learn more about this podcast and our magazine, visit www.buildingherdream.com. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host, Shayla Burton, and this is the Building Her Dream podcast. I'm so excited to chat with today's guest. She is a freelance designer and marketing strategist who is building a media company that specializes in brand identity for emerging businesses. She is the founder of Maeven Creative, all the way from Texas. We have Lila Beavers. Hi, Lila. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Shayla. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Yes, you're welcome. And I'm so glad to have you here. Now, if you've listened to our podcast before, you know that we are all about building businesses that help us live our dream lives. So, Lila, if you could wake up tomorrow and have the perfect dream life, what would that look like for you? So where would you be? What would you be doing? What's your dream?
Well, that's kind of a hard question because I'm always torn between wanting to go travel and explore crazy new places. But another part of me knows that in the future, I want to settle down and have a really strong community where I can raise a family and just have self-sustaining land and all of that good stuff. So I'm hoping in the next few years to do a lot more traveling, as I've always been a digital nomad of sorts, kind of going all over the place. But
yeah,
say my dream in the next 10 to 15 years is to have land that supports me and my family when I do end up having children of my own, and also just fostering a really strong community that supports each other and nurtures creativity and just, life that's connected with the earth and with each other. It's all that I could ask for.
Wow, that's beautiful. So you would start traveling first. Where are some places that you would like to go?
Well, I definitely want to revisit all of the Western European countries, but I've never been to Asia. I've always wanted to go to Japan, Thailand, a few places in South America, kind of just everywhere. I really want to see it all because every new place I've gone in the past has just really opened my eyes to with brand new inspiration and cultural things that I had never known about before. And it's always such an amazing experience.
Yeah, for sure. And now that you're building a remote business, you'll have the opportunity to be able to travel and still work at the same time. So, anyway, why don't you start by telling me a little bit about the type of work that you do?
For sure. I do a lot of graphic design work, but I'm also the marketing strategist part of what I do encompasses a lot more than that, because it's really taking, the goals of my clients for their sales or what they're trying to achieve and making a plan as to how they can actually do that, whether that's through social media marketing campaigns or strong landing pages on your website. I kind of take all of the pieces that they need and put them together in a plan that makes a lot of sense for them. And then on the other side of that, there's the graphic design, getting their brand identity and messaging really clear and really putting a memorable face on their mission and their dream and allowing their dreams to come to life. in the digital world. And so that's really fun for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And that is definitely work that business owners need help with, because we're really good at, whatever it is that we do, but trying to come up with like your brand identity and making sure that your messaging is clear, that is so difficult for people to do. And when I say people, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can be overwhelming, but I think, having the more people that you can collaborate with and bounce ideas off of, the better. And just having someone who's done all of these things before and really knows how to communicate that can be really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this type of work?
So I've been doing graphic design and brand identity for about 5 years now. I
Okay.
started stepping into the role of a marketing strategist over the past few years as my clients needed more than just the graphic design portion. Like I would create these things for them, but then it's like the next step of like, oh, how do I deliver this to my audience in a clear and effective way? And so I ended up just getting more and more experience helping them plan out marketing campaigns using the graphics and things that I would create. And it kind of just snowballed into me being involved in like even the smallest granular aspects of marketing. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's really been a transformative journey over the past 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you were working as a freelancer, but now you are building like your own official business. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. So I've been doing, solo freelancing um, this whole time, but with the amount of like work that I've picked up now and the amount of work that my clients need from me, I'm beginning to hire some people to join my team and help me with all of the different moving parts that all of my clients need, because it is a lot of work and it takes a lot
Mm-hmm.
of time, and it's just more time than I have right now. So I'm really excited because I really thrive like working side by side other creatives, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really fulfilling to create a space to allow people to grow as well.
Yeah. And it's very exciting, I think, to be in the position where you have the business and the amount of clients that allows you to hire help and start building your own team. So congratulations to you for that, because a lot of business owners don't get to that point.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So have you started hiring, or are you still in the process of doing that?
Yes, I have started. I have a few girls who are working with me more on like a contractor basis. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's a fully remote company, and the way I'm structuring it isn't so much hiring employees as it is doing like hiring other freelancers to help me out with
Yeah.
certain projects. And that's kind of like my soft launch of the company as I'm putting everything together and building the systems that I need. And then I'm sure in the future I'll have some people on salary as things
Yeah.
get going. But yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hmm. So you have been doing this type of work for a few years, and you're expanding and growing your business. I know that for a lot of us, or really all of us entrepreneurs, there are a lot of challenges that come with, being an entrepreneur. It's definitely like a roller coaster. What are some challenges that you've had to deal with?
Um, yeah, there are a lot of challenges. I think the biggest one is just that feeling of like imposter syndrome and
Mhm.
feeling like, like what am I doing? I'm not qualified to be doing this type of work. Like
Yeah.
should just go work for someone else who's going to tell me exactly what to do. And it's like fighting those feelings of not being like valid and not seeing my own worth and the value that I offer. Because I know that I have valuable
Mm-hmm.
skills to offer. I've seen that, but there's still, that just that lack of confidence that can kind of get in the way sometimes, or just make me feel anxious about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's really important to like take a step back and just look at everything that you have accomplished so far and the opportunities that you have, um, and really decide like what it is you really want for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time that I considered dropping all of my freelancing work and going and working for an agency, but the thought of giving up the freedom of my schedule and location even was just, it wasn't worth it. And so I'm like, well, I'm really scared, but I'm going to keep doing this because this is allowing me to create the life that I want for myself. And so, yeah, it's just, you got to trust in yourself and your abilities to do what you love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone deals with that imposter syndrome. Even so I've been in business for 6 years, but I've been in my industry for a little over 20. Um, but even I like still sometimes that imposter syndrome just sneaks up and I'm like, should I be doing this project or why do these people want to pay me? Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's so weird how that that creeps up. And one of the ways that I've handle it when it does happen is I keep a collection of like positive things clients have said about me. So, I
Mm.
mean, I do testimonials, but then also like if someone sent me an email or a text message or um, commented something on Facebook, I'll take a screenshot of it and save it so that when I do start doubting myself, I can just look back and read all of the wonderful things that people said about me and remember that I'm amazing. So I need to keep going, you know?
That's such a good idea. I'm going to have to start doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, what now? So you're an introvert. Do you feel that being an introvert has affected your business at all?
Um, yeah, I think it makes it hard for me to like reach out to people and really put myself out there.
Mm.
Um, I haven't posted on Instagram in like over 3 years, which is
Oh, wow.
something I'm planning on, getting back into, but I just didn't see a need for it back when I was in school. And
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like a shy person. And so, it takes a lot for me to like reach out to someone. And like, I feel like I have to have a really clear purpose and like need
Mm.
for it. And so, yeah, I would say makes it a little difficult in like the sales aspect of like putting myself out there. That being said, like I'm really grateful for the people who have seen my work and like found me and seen my value without me having to like get in people's faces, because that's something I'm really uncomfortable with. But um,
Mm-hmm.
I would say like the confidence to put myself out there is something that I work on every day. And um, yeah, planning on building out my social media presence once again so that people know what I'm doing and can find me
Mm-hmm.
more easily.
Yeah. So what types of things are you doing to help build your confidence?
So it would be um, kind of like recording my process, like when I'm doing my work. Like right now, it's more about like focusing on doing the work that I love and
Mm-hmm.
documenting it so that I
Okay.
can share that with people. Because that's like, I think the most important part of what's missing, like for my personal online presence. I mean, I have my website, but people really like to see you and like understand what it is that you do and how it helps people. And so that's something that I've been working on generating content for, so that people really see like they don't just see my work, but they see me as well. And they understand like how my knowledge is supporting all of the successful work that I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you said that you haven't posted on like social media in a while, and I really hate social media, and I know a lot of people do, but it feels like it's the only way to get clients, even though I know that's not true. So how are you getting enough clients to not only, sustain yourself, but you're also building a team? Like what's your strategy? Give us some tips or something.
Well, so far it's really just been word of mouth and like
Okay.
people who have like known other clients that I've worked for. And I figured like, well, if I have this much work without even doing any promotion, then imagine what I could be doing if I did a little bit of promotion, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It's been like I've been very blessed to just have people who will share their satisfaction with me, with their friends. And it's just kind of like snowballed into where I'm at now. So yeah, it's exciting, but I'm also ready to share it with the rest of the world too.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing that you've been able to get a lot of business through word of mouth, for sure. But now that you're building your team, though, you could have, one of your team members post on social media. So that's really great. That's a benefit to have a team now, because then they can do the tasks that you aren't really good at. So yeah, you can have them them post on social media all day.
For
Yeah.
sure.
That's cool. So how do you keep yourself motivated and focused when facing like obstacles or setbacks in your business?
I feel like I've gone through so many phases of feeling like just kind of like overwhelmed or just questioning what I'm doing. Like I said, with that imposter syndrome that just comes up here and there. But through all of that, like I've had people encourage me and I always get through it, and things always just get better in time. And so even when I have like obstacles come up that make me question like what I'm doing, I always have to like look back at like all the times where I felt hopeless or like things just weren't going well, and realize, yeah, this is something that I'm learning from right now. But I know that, in a few days, in a week, everything's going to be fine and we'll always come out better from it. I think it's really important to take time to kind of like rest and breathe and reflect on a day-to-day basis. That's, I've had days when like I'll wake up in a rush and just like start working and just be working all day and feel really burnt out and just tired. And then a whole day has gone by and I haven't really enjoyed a second of it. But if I can just, take 5 minutes in the morning to like go outside, get some sunlight and just breathe for a minute, then that helps me to like prepare myself to conquer obstacles or any problems and issues that come up, and with a much clearer mindset, and have it not ruin my whole mentality for the day. So it's really, really nice to do that, and something I try to do even when I feel stressed and rushed and like I have no time for myself. You have to make it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a question that I was going to ask about. How do you balance your need to like recharge as an introvert while also running a business that is kind of people focused in a way.
Yeah. I'm always taking like a little break after my meetings.
Mhm.
I have to like step away for a minute and just kind of like, recenter, because then I'll go and just like do my solo work. But I would say like after a lot of interaction with people, I sometimes need a minute to recharge. And so I usually like try and schedule in little breaks for myself, even if it's like
Mhm.
5 minutes to just go drink some water and like rest, recharge my brain for a minute. And that really
Yeah.
helps because, you don't need like a whole hour long break to feel a lot better going into whatever you're going to work on next.
I'm thinking like, well, I sometimes need an
Yeah,
hour.
sometimes I'm
It's
not saying I never take hour-long breaks. That's definitely something I do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like when I have meetings or even like this, I schedule the time for the meeting and then I schedule at least a full hour afterwards. And sometimes I might not need the entire hour, but just knowing me and how my brain works, like sometimes I just need that break. And so I definitely can't have like meetings back to back.
Yeah.
I would be no good.
Yeah, no, I start getting antsy whenever my meetings go over like an hour or something. I'm just like turning my camera off for a minute. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's important to like take that time to recharge. And honestly, like however long it takes, there's no wrong amount of time because if you aren't,
Mhm.
back at your fullest capacity, then your work is just like you're just going to struggle through whatever you're trying to accomplish. And you might as well take the break and go back completely recharged and be as efficient as you can be. So that's kind of my mentality about rest and balancing rest and work.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Do you take regular like vacation time off? And so not necessarily like you have to go on a vacation, but where you completely, shut off from work for multiple days or like an entire week, what I would say is like a real vacation. Have you had those opportunities where you can take time off and like your business won't crash while you're gone?
Yeah, here and there. I mean, for me, it's been hard because, like, since I do all of my work remotely, I could be like up on a mountain, like on vacation, literally, but then I'm like, oh, well, I can still bring my laptop and make money while I'm
Mhm.
here. So it's hard to like say no to work for me. And that's been something that I've really struggled with as someone who works remotely because it's always there. And like, if I feel bored or something, I'm just like, oh, well, I have a million things to do for work. So let me just go and do this. And I just recently took off like 2 weekends in a row. I was like out Friday through Sunday to go work at my old summer camp with my mom. And that's
Mhm.
like technology free. And so that was something that I hadn't done in a long time. And
Mhm.
it was really cool for me to see that like I can completely step away from like my phone and laptop and things aren't going to crash and burn and like my
Right.
clients are going to respect the time that I need to step away. Um, which is another thing that about like just giving yourself the time you need and understanding like yeah, your clients aren't going to hate you for like taking time for yourself because
Yeah.
you know you want them to take time for themselves. And so I feel like I just have put a lot of pressure on myself in the past to always
Mhm.
be present and always like be responsive. But um yeah, I need to do more days that are laptop technology free because
Yeah.
um I'm just starting to see like the value of like really fully stepping away, um, where I can just have a whole day to myself that is just about whatever I need to do and want to do.
Yeah, I find the majority of entrepreneurs that I come across don't take that adequate time away. And it's definitely possible, but it's like you have to schedule it, because if you just say, "Oh, I'll take time off later," you'll just never do it. And so like when I'm working with my clients, who I help to take more time off away from their work, at the beginning of the year, we just open up their calendar and we block off their vacation time, because I feel that you should make it as important as like a doctor's appointment. So like if you needed to go to the doctor, you would just take that time, and then your work would have to, work around that time off. And so you should do the same thing for your vacation time. Make it important, make it non-negotiable, and then just work your clients around that time that you're taking off. And especially if you plan it in advance, you can give your clients advance notice so that they're aware that it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's super important to take that time off to clear your brain, because we're doing so much, we're working so hard, and it's overloading our brains. And so sometimes we just need that break. And then when we come back, we'll think so much more clear. We'll make better decisions, and often we'll work a lot faster, because if you're overworked, like, and your body is tired, your brain is tired, you're probably not working even at like 70% capacity that you could be working at. And so you might as well just take that break and then come back refreshed and just stronger to tackle whatever it is on your plate.
Yeah. No, that's really cool that you do that for your clients. Because I definitely need to put some more vacation days on my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like I always block off like travel times, but and like shorter breaks, but I hadn't thought about kind of blocking off like entire days, which I try not to work so much on the weekends, but no,
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of break that rule sometimes, and yeah,
Yeah.
you really should take it seriously. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Now myself, I love not working. Like, I like my business and I like what I do, but I also enjoy doing nothing. So like I don't have to go somewhere, like, but just being able to wake up and not have any appointments and nothing on my calendar, and I could just sit on my couch watching TV. Like, that's awesome to me.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's my soapbox. What's so entrepreneurship has a lot of challenges, but something what's like a recent success or a milestone, or just something that you're proud of that has happened with your business?
So I've been picking up a lot of different kinds of clients lately.
Mm,
Um, One who is like going into like advocacy. I have clients who I sell skincare products.
mm,
One client who does like retreat experiences and all kinds of things, online programs too. And I think being able to like service all these people who have really different like markets and goals
mm,
has just done wonders for like one, creating space for my business to grow, but also like um showing me that like my methods and the way that I work with people can translate into so many different applications. I would say that I've gotten really strong with like social media marketing specifically, and doing like targeted marketing for I would say it was really successful with a lot of like the retreat experiences that I was promoting through Instagram. And so just being able to really see that, like that knowledge and like strategy turning into conversions is really wonderful. And I just continue to learn more and more about that all the time. But I think it's really fulfilling to be able to do work for like these in-person like wellness experiences, because I know that the people who attend are also going to find like community there, and like community of like other women and like-minded souls who they'll stay connected with. And it's that in particular just really makes me happy to be able to help out with, because like we all feel very like alone sometimes, and like there's no one in the world who's interested in what we are, and that we're just like some weirdos. But with clever marketing, like you can show people that like, no, there are a lot of people out there who are just like you, and you can go and meet them, you can connect with them, and like make your life 10 times better because of it. And so that's like something that has been an honor to be able to contribute to.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Now, before we started recording, Lila, you mentioned that this is your first podcast interview, which I'm so honored to have you on it. Or was there a reason why you've never been on a podcast before?
I've like just now been getting into the podcast world more. I never really saw like a purpose for me to be on one before. And I don't listen to a lot of podcasts other than like true crime, but a lot of my colleagues and some of my clients like to go on podcasts a lot to put themselves out there and like talk to other people about what they're doing. And I figured it would be a good idea for me as well, because just being really shy, it's hard for me to talk about myself sometimes, because it's like I don't feel a need to like really promote myself in a way, but it's important to be able to communicate what you do clearly. And so coming on here and talking to you and sharing what I do with the world is just the first step of like really solidifying like my own faith in myself and what I'm doing, which is part of fighting that imposter syndrome that happens all the time. And I also love making new connections and learning from people like you. I think I've learned quite a few awesome things today. So you just never know like what's going to happen just from a conversation.
Yeah. So now that we're almost done, like, how do you feel now? So this is your first podcast. You mentioned that you were shy. And so it's not that scary, is it?
Yeah, no, not at all. I thought this was really easy. It feels like any other Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
You're super nice and friendly too. So that's very relieving. I was like nervous to do it in the first place, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, like,
right,
whatever. But I don't know. I love having conversations with people. So this was really nice.
Good. And you did a wonderful job. I just wanted to bring up that this was your first podcast. So just in case there is an introverted woman listening right now who's never been interviewed and is a little nervous or has, some anxiety, that you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And if you want to have your first interview, reach out to me. You can send me an email at team@buildingherdream.com and get interviewed as well. I would love to chat with you. But before we go, Lila, where can our listeners find out more information about you or reach out to you if they want to, work with you?
Yeah, so my website is maevencreative.com. That's Maeven creative.com. And same Maeven Creative on Instagram. Like I said, my Instagram is pretty dead, but I will be starting to post on it soon, I promise. I'm just, still in the content generation phase right now, but if you go to my website, you can submit like a contact form and I'll get an email from you. So that's probably the best way to reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lila, for sharing your story with us today. We'll definitely check out your website and your social media. So thank you again for joining me.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
Yes, and thank you to our audience for listening. This has been another episode of the Building Her Dream podcast. If you've enjoyed it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe, leave us a review, and stay up to date with what we're doing by visiting www.buildingherdream.com.